Hello everyone, this is Michael and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am excited today to show you one of the new products that are coming in January 2025 from our mini catalog. The stamp set is called Nature's Symphony, and the paper pack or paper collection part of it is called Nature's Walk. And so we're going to use both the stamp set and the coordinating dies today from that suite, as well as the Secret C ribbon, which is really beautiful, and then a few other products. My plan is also to highlight the benefits of two-tone cardstock. There are several features of two-tone cardstock that can add a little extra flair to your card making and scrapbooking. So the first is you have two sides. So I've got two colors. Here's my light side and here's my dark side. The second is that when I tear this, I get a white core, which shows a little more texture when you're tearing. The third is you can crumple it up and also get a little bit of that white core showing. We're not going to do that today. And the fourth thing off the top of my head is that you can emboss this, dry emboss it, and then sand it, and the white core will show up as the pattern. So let me show you what I have today. We are going to use the light side of my paper. And I am going to use the stencil that I've created. I created this by cutting out this leaf here. I did it on a piece of scratch paper that happened to be laying on my desk so that I could create this stencil. I'm using Old Olive ink or Fern if you're a close to my heart, former close to my heart customer, and have that ink on hand. And I'm just going to position this. I tapped a little bit off there, and I'm going to go very lightly with the same color of ink as the paper, but remember, I'm on the light side. And I'm going to create my leaves right here and give them a pretty good contour inking. Let's add a little bit more here to make it a little bit darker. And you want to be careful because some of these pieces, actually this is probably my last use of this stencil, start to get a little wiggly. And so you'll have to be careful as you use those. So here is my first part. And now I'm going to take this, I'm going to tip it a little bit in this direction so that I have enough space, and I won't really overlap these too much, so I'm going to focus on these top leaves and this right side of the stencil. And I'll just keep adding that and brushing on that green until I have it as dark as I'd like. Let me give myself a little extra right here. And then you can always just kind of peek under there, and there it is. So now I have my stenciled piece of paper. So the next step, as you can see, this isn't the full length of the card, but I'm going to start about an inch down, and I'm going to tear to over here for about an inch. And as I tear, and you don't need to worry about making it super straight, it's kind of this organic look to it. And there we go. Now you can see that white core on the top. Now the white core is showing on the back here. And if I want to see that a little bit more, I can just use my fingers and roll that white core up just ever so much. And then if I want, I can also give this a little extra texture with rolling it up over here. If I didn't have ink on there, you can also get that wet, which helps you roll it a little bit more, but I don't want to smear my ink. So I am going to just do that with my fingers. Now, these pieces here are from the Nature's Walk, and I'm also going to tear those. And again, with the design series paper, you also get your white core. And we'll tear this one here. If you tear away from you, you will get you won't get the white core. You'll just get the actual color of the DSP. And so what I'm going to do is line this up so it's on the edges of my card. I'll use my adhesive here. And it is going to be a little bit longer, because you need that for this angle, and you want it to make sure that it covers that whole entire edge. And so then here, and I have anywhere from 1/8 to 1/4 inch showing. Again, it's the organic look. And now I have my 2 pieces right here. Now this piece is going to go into the center. And so I am going to take my card base here and add it directly into the center here of my card base. It does not look straight, so let's straighten that up a little bit. Right on the edge there. There we go. Okay. And now, using my adhesive, I'm going to line this up at the top and over here on the edge. And I'm noticing that I'm going to have a little white showing right there. I think I'm going to be okay with that because it looks like the torn edge. If I wasn't okay with that, I could also move my paper, which is actually, because there's more of a white edge showing over here. So let's just move this down just a hair. Okay, and then add adhesive and add this piece. Flush with your edge and flush to the bottom. Remember, you're going to have a little bit hanging over here. I might have to get a little bit of a scrap. We'll see if this even shows once I put my leaves on my page. It might not even show. And then here's this right here. Flush to the top and flush to the card over here. Okay. Now you're going to just use your scissors and you'll trim right at the corner. You're going to trim off the extra that you have there. This one's got a little bit on the bottom. So there is kind of the backdrop or the base of my card. So the light old olive with old olive ink stenciled onto it. And now I'm going to take the actual old olive ink or old olive cardstock that is the exact color. And I'm going to use that as my first base for my clustering. So off camera, I put a little bit of foam tape. So this has a lifted and a little more texture. Okay, now that I have this already, overlapping itself a little bit, I'm going to try to be strategic here and just cover up a little bit of that white area that's showing right there. And then I'm going to add this to come up into that area there. So there is that first layer. Now this is our second layer that I'm going to add, and this is a stamp from the stamp set. I have stamped it on Basic Beige, and it's second generation pecan pie, and then I've cut it out with my die cuts. Now here, I just feel like this takes up the whole thing and is really busy. So what I ended up doing was cutting this apart into different pieces and then kind of adding it in to create a little, I'm going to call it a bouquet of flowers or leaves so that it looks good together. And you can see I have it mostly down below on this card in this area, but this one I'm just going to go ahead and put it right here. I'm going to cut off that bottom part. I will have a bow here like I've shown you, and save these pieces because you might be able to use them on another card. So I have this, and now we will take a bow from our ribbon. It's the Secret Sea mesh ribbon. It's so pretty. And add a glue dot to it. And then I'm going to add it here down to the bottom of my little grouping. Okay. And then finally, I've pre-stamped a different sentiment this time. This one is thanks a lot. And using my foam tape, I'm going to add a little dimension to this as well, and then figure out where I like this on my card. I think I'm going to put it up here, and going to add it right here as a sentiment, kind of down with my things. And as you can see, I have finished the card. Now, there are these pentagons, faux bronze pentagons, and now that I have them in front of me, let's add a couple of those just to kind of draw your eye through this card. Where do I want this to go in? I think I'm going to actually put it up here. And I've created a little triangle with that. Shall we add them to this one? I didn't on my original prototype, but it's never too late to add embellishment. And there we go. So I hope you've enjoyed learning about two-tone cardstock and showing the white core with the tearing and using the two-tone on the card. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure that you are subscribed so you know when my next video goes live, and also share it with a friend who might enjoy this video. Thanks for stopping by.